Hi, Sarah.
Sarah, I don't think we're hearing you.
Can you hear me now?
Can't hear you, Sarah.
Oh. Hello? Can you hear me now?
That's better, thank you.
Gotcha.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes, can do.
We can't see you, though.
You can't see me? I can see me.
Oh, yeah.
I can see you too.
Oh, great. I'll tell you what it is. I'm left-handed, but the only headphones I could find in France were these right-handed ones. So the controller goes across my chest. So occasionally I press it against the desk. I think that's what happens if you want the truth. Right. Okay. So let's start sharing screen. There we are. Screen share. Okay, great. So let's think, where should we start today? We'll have a quick look at Euro JPY because this was one that Debbie and I were discussing. It wasn't one that I had been looking at before London session opened. My alert went off. Sorry, I don't know why it's a bit slow to load. I have been trying to close screens, windows down. Very slow. Should be opening up. But I was in for a quick buy. My alert went off and it literally did 10 pips in, you know, like a couple of minutes or something. Let me take that Star Wars effect off at the back for you. And I'm going to try and be more engaging because Paul and I had a chat about, so thank you for bearing with me. I'm not a teacher like Helen is, I'm not a trained teacher. So I know I get in the zone a bit because I'm trying to be confident and look at what to tell you.
You do absolutely fine, Sarah, don't worry.
Oh, thanks. And I said to him, no one says anything. And he said, well, they won't. You've got to pause and say, what do you think of this then? And then you'll get a silence. And I said, well, that's okay. I said, I don't know if it's making sense. And he said, it's okay to go back to the steps about the harmonic scanner and how I trade. And I said, oh, well, I was a little bit concerned that maybe I don't want to take people away from BYOB. But as you all know, I just now do naked charts and I just do the scanner. And he said, no, that's all fine. So we kind of know what we're doing now, which is great. So I'm sorry it's a bit slow. I'll just go back on the 15-minute just to show you the little trade I took this morning. And then we'll just discuss this one. And then we'll look at GU, because that was an interesting one that I was discussing last night with Les. I think the French have gone off to lunch, so they're not on their little hamster wheel cranking the internet here. That's what's happening now. They're very slow. It might be because we're on Zoom. Come on. And it's raining. Maybe that's affecting their transmitter out here in the woods. Very, very slow. Can I close some down that we don't want to look at? Would that help? GN, GCAD, GJ, Euro. That's all. Yeah, I've just got some. I haven't really got a lot open. It's just slow on the screen, sorry. So it hasn't been slow like this for a while. Just trying to get Trading View to come down. Well, let's look at, whilst it's making its mind up. This is a sell. Now Barley has called it round about here. We'll look at the one at the moment while it's deciding to move and catch up. Now I had it, I wasn't looking at it, but Debbie and I were discussing it. So in my world of the Harmonic Scanner, where I run and I'll show you the scanner in a minute, we'll see if we can find a scan to look at. In my world, I'm looking at these pitchforks are coming off the scanner, these trend lines. So I'll see a break and a retest from a minimum of 10 pips, and that gives me one sell confirmation, plus the fact it's touched the trend line, and that's what Paul always refers to as what happens after a break. You get the retest, and then I'm looking for it to come down. This is the 1 minute average movement of price over 62 days, and it is coming down, and it's under the 15-minute one, which you can't see. It's a pale blue one, and it'll be a bit higher up. And then quarter theory for me is a strong line of support and resistance. And that's, I'm going to do a video on that before the weekend. Stuart was asking, was it Stuart? Simon was asking for some more information on it. So, and Helen asked about it the other day. So I thought I'll put a little video in the units in my group. So waiting for it to come down there. And then it has been struggling. So then you would look at whether it's leveled out. So you can see it has leveled out. It did dip down 10 pips. And Barley called it as a buy. So I said to Debbie, well, it's going down and it's got all my confirmations. Because if I drew a trend line down there, all those little high bits to find your trend, plus it's a downward scan, all the things I've just said, to me, it's a sell. And yet, hey, who argues with Barley? You can't argue as, you know, one of the top educators. So I'm a bit puzzled by that. And then I put the Hull indicator on. I won't try and put it on because the computer's being a bit slow. And that also at the time said red, but now it's popping back up again. So, you know, I'm sure he's right because, you know, he's always, you know, he's a fantastic educator. So I'm a bit puzzled about that one. So we'll watch that. So I wasn't in it anyway. But the only other thing that would tell me it is perhaps turning back up is it's forming these higher lows. So maybe it did just go down 10 pips. If I got in straight off the pitchfork, that was 10 pips. So it would have hit my confirmations. I'd have to have set the alert higher up, which it probably would appear higher up on the 1 minute, and then be right in. Because as you know, I'm more of a scalper, intraday, bit of a hybrid trader. I can swing trades even doing that. But as you know, my personality is not, I'm like Paul, you know, not to be in long trades. Doesn't suit my style of trading. You've got to find your style that suits you. And if the computer will let me, will the computer say yes? We'll just head back to, and I hope I will improve over time with these sessions. If you bear with me, I'm very keen to carry on with it, and Paul's happy, so that's great. But as I say, I'm, you know, learning how to communicate better as a educator, one of the team. And
Sarah, is it possible at all to zoom in a little bit more so we can see the candles?
Well, yeah, if you want to talk to the Frenchman sitting in his hut, winding up the internet, eating his cheese sandwich and drinking his bottle of red wine for about 4 hours, then feel free, because I'm scrolling as hard as I can here. It is working now. I just don't know why it went so slow then. Because I mean, that's one reason I prefer living in the country with donkeys and chickens. And there were two things put me off that. I've never lived in towns, so not really my thing. Well, my friend said you've got to have people around you, and that was one thing. And then the second thing was I'm not going for all those septic tank business and emptying that or whatever you have to do, stick stuff down the toilet like all the people do in the country. And the other thing was I thought there's no way I could cope unless I had internet that worked all the time. Ha ha. So I'm just trying to zoom in and then go back to the little trade I took this morning before we move on. It is moving. Amazing. I've just, should be any reason for it. I don't know why it's so slow. I mean, it hasn't been this bad this morning. Well, it's not usually. I have had it a bit glitchy, but just not shifting at the moment. It's just, oh, there we are, it's catching up. And I haven't got any more windows open than I usually have. Trying to move it along. See if the thing will come up at the bottom and I can see if I can get that to. very slow. Oh, finally. Right. So 9, I'm on the 1 minute. I only use the 1 minute time frame for entries. As you know, I look at the 15-minute for a trade setup, which would be the same as when we're on. Sorry, when I'm pausing on the screen, it's simply because I'm waiting for the cursor to come alive again. There we are. And it's just, whew, thank you. I'm probably not going to bother with this one. I'll try and move to something else, I think. So 30th of January, I just wanted to show you 8:56, 9 o'clock my time, 8 o'clock your time. I just had an alert here, and I just grabbed 10 pips on the way up, and I got out quick because it started stalling out. That was really all I was going to say. It wasn't one where I thought, oh, it's going to go 20 or 30. Normally, as you know, I'll do 10 pip stop loss, 20 pip gain. I try and stick to that rule because I like to keep the formula simple for what, like in the GU, Great British Pound USD trade we were in. We'll go and look at that now. So that's where we are on GU for a sell at the moment. Barley says it's a buy. If you want it on the watch list for a buy, it has to come back up above the quarter theory point at Barley's calling it for a buy above 120 flat. Great. You know, we know how good he is, but I've also got a green pitchfork there, and it is a downward pitchfork. So maybe there's I haven't looked at the scanner yet. We'll try and do that today if the computer will allow. But please look at that point at 120055 or thereabouts, because that's a line of support and resistance. So go to your lower time frame, put your indicator on. I'm not going to change it all now because the computer's being so slow. But that's where you'd want to put your indicator to see if you've got 5 or 10 pips, and make sure you've got some higher lows and higher highs, because that gives you the channel that shows the upward trend, and you want to be able to connect at least 3 points to make a trend line. Like here going down, I've connected 1. Now a trend line is more of a little zone. It's like I know you're meant to get it sort of accurate, but it is like a little box, an oblong box. So because I've missed the wick there, it doesn't really matter. I've got it on the wick there, so I've got 1 touch there, 2, 3. I've got about 4 touches. That confirms the trend line. So you want to draw your trend line, get them pretty accurate, and don't move them once you've drawn them. I used to do that. I think, oh, I'll keep moving it till it carries on the trade suiting what I think it's going to do, but not a good idea to do that. So what I'm going to do now is close this, because hopefully if I start closing some windows, then it'll speed up a bit. Had a bit of a slow day yesterday, and I did find it a bit of a strange day, having had 2 very successful days. So this yesterday, I have put it on our Ninja Live Traders watch list. So I did 86 pips, then 83, but yesterday 25, and they're all very, very fudgy. So I doubt any of you caught any of them. I didn't get any feedback on that. I've had some feedback this morning. I can't remember who it was from now. Matt Moore said he said thanks for the watch list. I put a little watch list up for London this morning, and he got 10 pips. I put USD Swiss franc as a sell and GU as a buy, which we then discussed on Paul's session. So that's 9, 14, 18, carry 1, 7, 9, 17. That's 258 pips. So, but I did find yesterday a difficult day trading, and I didn't do well on EJ. I gave money back to the market. It did drop 7 pips. I had it as a sell, but then it turned and it actually went quite a way on the buy. But again, you'll never get 100% of the trade. And anything I tell you is stuff I've learned. I was never a Forex trader, same as any of us, until I learned it from the IM Academy and sitting on live sessions. So what comes from my mouth, I hope, is stuff that has been put into me from, you know, not stuff I'm making up. So number one, you'll never catch 100% of the move, and that quote is from you know, $100 million sort of trader, millions and millions, who's a mentor of the people that I tend to follow on live TV. And he said the reason why a lot of traders don't make any money is because they're going for the 100% instead of cashing out at 70 or 80. So someone commented in the Ninja Hub today, oh, it makes my 30 pips look paltry, you know, because we were all posting, we'd made 50, I made 54, Paul had done 58, Les had done 100 in 2 lots, you know, etc., etc. But hey, I'd take 30 pips on a good day, wouldn't you? I mean, it's, you know, fantastic result. And the second thing is, keep in mind your percentages. So when you're calculating your risk, work out that your stop loss is relevant to how many pips you're going for. And the example I give, you could give any example, is don't have a 40 pip stop loss if you're going to make 5 or 10 pips, because it, you know, in reality, if you're on a live account, would you really want to see your money going down like that and think it was worth it? Now, Paul gave a good example. He was prepared, he got his calculator out, he was prepared to risk $6.80 to make whatever he made on the GU trade today. So that's what I always do, is I do my risk to reward. I put my long or my short position on, and as soon as I can, and I don't always do it brilliantly, I move my stop loss to stop profit. You know, I make losses and make mistakes, but as long as you're compounding your account. Now, on the strategy I use, and again, I'm not advocating go for this strategy, I'm just saying work it out for yourself. On the strategy where I'm going for one, risking 10 pips to make 20, therefore I'm still compounding my account and I'm moving forward if I'm only winning as few as 50% of the trades. And that's what's helped me to get better, because I used to do very low lot sizes, and just keep doing live trades. And then I remember a run of them last year where I just kept losing them. And okay, it was small amounts, but you don't want to lose money and it bleeds away, obviously, you know. But I thought, I just can't see this. And then I realized I'd forgotten one of the rules, which was wait you know, so follow the rules of your system, because I wasn't following the rule of wait for a break and a retest of 10 pips to solidify the move. And I was only, when I went back, I said, oh yeah, I was only waiting for about 7 pips and thinking, oh, that'll be enough. It's going the way I want it to go. And of course, it kept turning back on me. But I did a run of them on the live account. And that's how I learned. So find the way that you learn, and work out your risk to reward. Because like on some of the trades I do, I'll move I always put 2 blue lines across, and then I'll put the alert at 10 pips, so I know to move the other blue line, which is my stop loss, up to 1.5, 2 pips in profit. Give the trade enough room to breathe, particularly on GBP pairs. Again, that's another thing that I've learned the hard way on a live account. Well, not the hard way, because it stopped me out in profit or break even, but I could have won much better if I'd given the GBP pairs a bit more room to breathe. So you know, you get to know your pairs and the speed at which they move. So when I do that, I look at, then if the trade is moving, I then move that stop profit up to 5 pips, and I think, okay, I'm now 1-to-1, so I made my 1% there, and then once it's at 10 pips, then I'm at my 5 pips. 5 pips, then I move it to 10 pips. So I know against the 10 pip stop loss, I'm at 1-to-1. And then once it's moved to the 20, I'm at 2-to-1. And then I know I'm still compounding my account. So, and I really, as you can probably tell, I'm hopeless at maths. It really was my worst subject at school. I changed schools aged about 14. They moved from old maths, which I wasn't brilliant at. And we moved away from all my friends. We moved to Bournemouth out of Surrey. So I was very miserable when we moved, and, you know, young teenager. And they had the new math system. Well, I mean, that just, I mean, absolutely flummoxed me. So I couldn't get O level. In those days it was O levels, and I only managed very low GCSE result. So I've always had this thing in my head that I'm hopeless at maths, and that's why I was a year late joining Forex when Paul first told me about it. I thought, oh, it's maths, but it isn't maths, is it? You know, all these tools do the heavy lifting for you. And let's see now if that's given the computer time to catch up. So we'll go to GU, and that picture that was up behind me was, and I knew I should have got back into this, but I had to have a break. I came out here at the 54 pips. Les was in right down here because he'd done his analysis off the banker strategy that he does brilliantly, which he went through with me last night, and we marked this chart up together, and to see if our systems correlated. But still, even though please excuse me, I've got a cough. I've had a cough for several days. Even though I knew that his trusted his judgment totally. Now this shows you sniper strategy set up, because he said it was a sniper trade. I don't do these trades, but I put it in there because it's like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. I was in the littlest bed here. This is my trade, 10 to 20, 12, 25, because I had put a bigger stop loss on because I did know it would go more. So it's a bit of a rogue one. Rules are there to break them, because I wanted my stop loss under quarter theory as well as the pitchfork, and we knew that news was coming at 12. This was Les's trade, so he got in down here, so he did 100 pips a day. I traded the news, bang up that candle. Now here's a good tip for you, and I learnt this off Chance, because we do trade the news live with him when there's news. If any candle shoots straight up, it is going to shoot straight down. So as soon as it shot up, I didn't hang around. I immediately closed it at that 54 pips. Immediately. Probably dropped slightly before, that measurement there, if the computer's caught up. If you take it from when news hit 1 o'clock by time, Paris time, up to there. Yeah, the whole move is 65 pips. So I did cash out just as it was dropping, but I did not hang around. But you can see it is still working its way up, and it has got these projected, but I won't get in now. If you want to, we can do, and I would do it on my live account probably. Yeah, probably would, because it's now breaking and retesting the pitchfork. And once it gets above quarter theory, that's Les's projection. You've got the next pitchfork here. So I think we could put this down on the watch list. I'm sorry about the slowness of computer. I'll take, and it's green on the hull. I'll take that off if the computer will let me. There we are. Just hide that. But I still wouldn't have got in at Les's level, because I do follow my system, and my system says get above that quarter theory, get above the pitchfork, and I waited for the 62 to cross the 15 minutes. So I got in back here. It retraced to the pitchfork, it rejected it again, then it started to come up. As soon as it hit the 10 pips here on this second blue line, I moved my stop loss, but I was a bit tight on it because it had come back here, right? In fact, this is another lesson where you have to just get to know your trades. Because I've been caught out before with GBP pairs a number of times that really made note. I know that on GBP pairs, if I do move my stop loss to stop profit for a risk-free trade too tight, it's always stopped me out. So I didn't actually end up moving this one, although the blue line is there. I went off to, I think, I can't remember, answer the door or something happened just at this point, as usual. Sure enough, when I came back, it had come down and it had touched, it would have stopped me out. So on a GBP pair, I had given it more room to breathe. So normally now that means I'll leave it below the 62, or in this case, I had left it down there. But I had done several hours analysis on this last night. Plus I knew then, Les told me that David had called it on his midnight session, which he now does for the States, 12:30 UK time. That had been called as a sniper trade. So, that's why I was, didn't mind that I'd left it down with a stop loss of 24 pips, which is high for me. Normally with GBP pairs, I'll put it to 15 if I can. So so it hit there, didn't take me out. Once it moved to 10 pips, I know I was good to go. And then, as I say, I closed that up there. So what we'll do now, I'm on the 1 minute chart, is it's settled down there. I think Paul said there's more news at 1:30 if someone wants to check that for me, because my computer's slow. I don't want to click on Forex Factory. But I think it's 1:30 your time, UK time. If someone wants to put that in the chat.
Yeah, that's correct, sir.
Oh, thanks. So that's coming up now. So, and what is that news? It's more red flag GBP.
USD, sir.
Oh, it's USD, is it? Well, that's okay then. Oh no, it isn't okay necessarily. Okay, well, at the moment, price is between the pitchfork and the quarter theory. So bearing in mind, we've now got news hitting. So let's sit and watch the candle. I'm on the 1 minute. I don't know what the red flag news is for the States, but see, I can't even.
It's GDP and jobless claims.
Oh, sorry, GBP, is it?
Yeah. It's gross domestic product annualized.
Well, that'll probably
for the
yeah.
US. Yeah.
For the UK.
For the US.
Oh, right, okay. And unemployment claimant figures for the UK.
No, for the US.
Oh, it's US one. Okay. So let's write down what our figure is then. So quarter theory is GU is at 1.31000 flat. It's trying to break through there, and you can see how it's stalling off this pitchfork. So I love it when you get a pitchfork and quarter theory together, because price will have to make a decision. It cannot keep stalling out, and it's got no room to do it. No room at all. So stalling out, I love it when price stalls out. Bearing in mind, this is a bit of a different situation. It's not normal times. We've got red flag news on USD. I don't think it's going to do that, but hey, who am I? I don't know. But in normal times, you know, you can see the 62 is still coming up. So I will happily stop sharing screen. So you don't see all my squillions in my live account, which is on this computer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a separate account like Paul does for live trading. And I will hop back into this one, and I will set the take profit. I won't do the 1 to 20, 10 to 20, because I'm worried about, normally I put a long position on and I'd move it up, but I don't want to do too much because of the slowness of the computer. But if you set it at 1.31300 maximum, that's 30 pips you've got between the quarter theory and that. But bearing in mind, after red news, so take this trade on a live account at your caution, your own responsibility. It does take about an hour for things to settle down. But this was Les's trade. That's the sniper trade. But being in America, you know, they I don't know, because I don't look at their trades, but I know they're very successful, and David Kahn does them a lot. So and I'm sure David the Hoff probably does them. Yeah, another, you know, and this is how I, even though I'm using a 1 minute entry, this is how I stack in trades. So a trade like this, be in it for the 20 pips, see what happens there. Move, if you imagine this being moved up, then I stack it in so it's I've not got any I've got it's all in the green. I've not got any stop loss, if you see what I mean, because I've moved my stop loss to stop profit. So I've moved that up, so the red is finishing at the start of the red there, if you see what I mean. And then I'd stack in up to that next point, and then stacking up to there. So once you're stacking in, that's how you can multiply the pips, because you can make 20 plus your 30, that's 50, and then say it went on up to there, you've got another 50. So you'd have, you know, 80, you'd have about another 100 or something on 3 different trades, all risk-free, because your stop losses are being covered by moving your stop profit in, and you're tiering the entries. So that's how we do it. That's how we do it with this hybrid intraday scalping. So that's I wonder whether it's worth waiting for this, or whether to set, if it'll let me move it, move my alert, and perhaps one of you guys can keep an eye on it. for us. I'm just nervous about this computer because I don't want you to be bored. Right, so if we just put it there and see what happens to that alert set. Okay, so that's GU. EuroCAD we were looking at. USD Chef, Swiss franc, let's just see what happened on that. Although, as I say, we have got news now, then it's 1:35. So I didn't get in this because I was busy with the GU one. Had this called as a sell this morning, so I will need to check, although it wasn't on my live session, so I don't record these and the Ninja Traders sheet, our live trading sheet. But I had this as a sell, and I put it there because you know, I'd want it under the pitchfork, under the quarter theory. You can see the 62 is coming down. It's retraced, it's retesting that quarter theory. So I'm not going to put the hull on, which is my exit strategy, which would show me the 15-minute red. But I think if you wanted this as a sell, it's probably okay. But what I'd like to do is, but I'm more interested in looking at the GU. That seems to be moving. I'd like to put the Ninjacator on. So if you want to be doing that now, put your Ninjacator on, either on a 5-minute or a 15-minute time frame, no longer than that. Now, normally price, as we've discussed before, this is an upward scan though, so you are trading against the trend, against the scan. Normally I'd say, you know, you've got 50 pips between quarter theory. I don't know what that is down to the pitchfork without using the measuring tool, but it must be 30 pips or something. But you know, who knows? I don't think it would go that far because but price will normally move between levels, and USD Chef is generally a slow moving pair. You can see how all the way along, this is back, that's overnight, so that's coming up to close of trading. All it's done is price will always suck back to the 50 EMA. David Kahn often used to tell us that. Same thing with the 62. It's an average over 62 days. Price will always naturally want to balance itself, come back to that point. So it's done that right through until open of London today, when it's made its move down, hugged it back, another little move down, doesn't like the pitchfork, stalls along the pitchfork, call it a trend line, and it's come down here. It doesn't like quarter theory, so it's still strongly selling, in my humble opinion, but without doing all my little clicks and everything else. And I don't particularly want to get into it anyway personally, not because I'm underconfident, it's not that, it's just I've done enough today with the GU and the EJ, and I don't really want to take another trade. If anything, I'm going to go back in that GU one. That's what I want to be doing. But put your Ninjacator on now, even if you just do it on demo, if you're, and welcome if you're in our 7-day free trial. Great to see you, and I hope you're having a great week. I know we all are. Team trading's been absolutely fabulous today, and do it on demo. I always say take 100 trades on demo. You can do 100 trades in a day. You'll probably lose 60%. It doesn't matter. It's to get you used to clicking buttons, write down what went wrong with it, but try and work it out. And then when you move to a live account, start small, $50 or $100, very small lot size, 0.01. Get used to, say, 50 trades. It'd be very hard to lose 50 trades. Our win rate of 93, 94% on the live traders. That's the psychology that kicks in when you're actually, I remember my fear, you know, absolute terrible fear to press the button on a live trade. I think it'll always stay with me actually. But once you do it, often I don't even look at the money amounts now when I'm trading in terms of on the MT4, don't look at it. And the reason for that is as you grow your account and as you get to bigger and bigger lot sizes, what you want is to expand and to grow into being comfortable with that. And if you become comfortable clicking the button because you're comfortable with your confirmations and your lot size calculation, and you're looking at your ratios, then that's what you focus on. Don't look at the money amount. Otherwise, as soon as it retraces, you think, oh, I'm getting out of this. But if you've done your confirmations, I'd be comfortable in this trade, even if it had retraced back to that quarter theory point, because I know what I've done all my analysis on it. Don't like drawdown, but I don't mind a certain amount of it, because price is like a river and it will flow. It's not a straight line like we draw these alerts. And that's my alert going off. That was good timing. So let's have a look at GU. I'm certainly going to hop back in, although we have had the news, so you know, it's up to you. It's right at quarter theory. It's right at it at the moment. Let me move that up. This computer's still very slow. Sorry about that. That's why I'm being cautious about where I click on things, so we don't make matters, so we get something useful done. So I'm going to just try and move that. Let's see, that should be moving now. No, screen's very slow. So it's done a little break and retest. Remember the news though, don't just hop in willy-nilly because Sarah says so, because, you know, I'm only on my journey the same as everybody else. I'm not some Barley Granville. I've just learnt one little system, and I just click buttons and I try and follow the rules. When I don't follow the rules, generally I pay for it in every sense of the word. That's all I've learnt, and I've learnt a lot of it the hard way. But as my ex-first husband used to say to me, experience is a hard school, but fools will learn no other. I just wanted to see by how much it's broken from the pitchfork, but computer's unbearably slow. Please speed up. No. There it is. So it's broken by, oh, from the pitchfork it's broken and retested. I quite like that. So the news doesn't seem to have had an effect, although sometimes there is a delayed reaction. 62 is leveling out a bit. Well, I think bearing in mind that I would have stayed in that anyway, but I had to have a break from the computer, so I did just close it there, but I probably would have just hopped straight back in. I would have, I'd just done so much, and I didn't go to bed till 3 a.m. because of analysis, and there's a call I attend at, that's 3 a.m. my time, 2 your time, there's a call I attend in the week. So I think I might get back into this one. What, does anybody have an opinion? Seeing as I can't move my mouse and do my clicking. No?
The news results aren't that much different from the predictions, so that's probably answered your question about significant changes.
Oh yeah, thanks for that. I mean, sometimes bankers move money and use the news to hide behind it. That's what we've learned over the last year. So they'll move money anyway, even if the figures you'd think they wouldn't, because they're sneaky little blighters. You know, that's what they do, isn't it? But you're right, you know, it seems quite slow now, doesn't it? But again, you see stalling along, price has to make a decision. It's still above quarter theory. Normally I'd just check with the, let me see if I can put the MTFA on. See if it's green on the 15-minute. Might take, we might have closed the session by, oh, and the other thing is I don't know, yeah, it is green on the 50-minute. I don't normally enter a trade in the last 10 minutes of an hour. And that's the other rule I stuck to down here. I'm trying to get more precise and stick to my rules all the time. And that's because you can get fake outs. But I think if I put the stop loss, I don't, and again, I can't work out, someone wants to work it out. That's great. If you want to put a long position on and tell me, I'd do a stop loss at 1.307. 30703, because that's the pitchfork, and then a take profit at 1.313 and entry price is 1.31046. So how does that look to us then? So that's still 33 pips, and stop loss is 3, 4. I'm just get a calculator, one of these. 7 from 11 is 4. 1 from. What's the stop loss on that then? What's 1.31046 with a stop loss of 1.30703? That's quite a lot, isn't it? Take off the last digit. Point. Anyone know?
Sorry, Sarah, just run those numbers again.
Yeah, thanks. If it was an entry price,
I think it's 34.
Is it 34? So it's about 1 to 1, isn't it? 1.31046, and then the stop loss would be 1.30703. That's about 1 to 1, isn't it?
Yep, 34.
Okay, so it's just coming up above another little pitchfork that's coming through there now. So what do we think about this then, guys? Anyone interested in it or not? I mean, you know, I don't know if it's got much more room in it, you know. And I've done quite a lot of pips today, but I am keen on it. I mean, personally, I wouldn't want to put my stop loss down there. I'll put it below about 15 pips. So it's covered quarter theory and that pitchfork. So it's got, or even 2 pitchforks. So wait for that to get above this other trend line. Is anyone else going to hop in or not on your Ninjacator? You got any room on your Ninjacator for it on the 15-minute?
Well, I'm already in that trade from this morning's
Oh, you're still in. Fantastic.
discussion. Yeah, so that's at 80 pips now.
Okay, I'm going to.
I think the target this morning is 131.
It is. It is. It's right up here. That's the sniper level, which is that quarter theory and pitchfork.
There's a big resistance line just above that.
Yeah. Okay, so
on the BYOB strategy, Sarah, it's above the 80. So normally you'd be looking for that to be a sell. So it's, as you say, I think it's
on the 15-minute.
Yeah, I think it's stalling along a little bit.
Stalling along, yeah. Yeah.
It'll probably get to 131.20, I'd a guess.
I think so. I mean, those sniper strategies are usually pretty good, aren't they? I think they are.
Good reputation, yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna. It's quite small volume at the moment, isn't it? So we've got, on my confirmations, I've got to break off that pitchfork by 10 pips. It's stalling out. It's still above the 62. It's got above that pitchfork. It's stalled out along it. It doesn't like it. It's retesting. See if it lets me do the. I was going to try and get on the Harmonic Scanner, but probably won't have time for that today to show you some of that. Gone too much now. That's why I haven't been
Starting to sell on the 1 minute, Sarah.
It's a sell, is it?
Starting.
I just put it on thanks. I've just put it on magnification. On what time frame? On your BYOB?
Yeah, BYOB's got a sell on the 1 minute.
But you wouldn't trade on the 1 minute on
No,
BYOB.
no, it's just a flag of the starting the direction, that's all.
So what, what's it saying on the 5 and the 15 then? Here it is magnified, that it's retracing back to that quarter theory point and this pitchfork here. So, but it's still about, so I'm thinking it's going to retest that 62, which is meeting that pitchfork, and then come on back, but it's still got to then get above this. Yeah, so it's moving down at the moment. If you don't mind, I don't know if anyone's got any questions on anything technical or harmonic scan or anything. If you don't mind, I would quite like to watch this for a minute. And what time are you? Well, you see, this could be the fake out for the last 10 minutes of the hour. Because that happens a lot, well, most of the time.
Sarah, can you explain that when you say fake out? What do you mean?
Well, I think it's because bankers are settling up, or they're trying to fool you and get your stop loss out of you. So trying to make you think it's going the other way. That's something chance has taught us.
And it's all like
and a lot of,
for the hour.
It's the last 10 minutes of the hour, you'll get a fake out. And a lot of the top educators say the same, that they don't enter trades in the last 10 minutes of an hour. And they'll look at it, or even some of them, 5 or 10 minutes past the hour. I don't necessarily follow that. But I think it's more to do with not settling up. It's to do with faking you out, thinking the trade is going the other way. And look, that's what it's doing. So that wouldn't necessarily rattle me, that because I would have marked key levels, or put the hull on or something to see if it's turning red and staying red. Because I was just thinking, okay, I'm cool about that. It's the last 10 minutes of the hour. There's a pitchfork there. The 62's there. You know, still all upward trend on my pivots on the higher lows and higher highs, although it has peaked there. But then, as we know, price moves in waves, doesn't it? I mean, look at that. You know, I know we had news. So you see that's now rejecting the pitchfork, and it's touching the 62. So as long as it stays above the 62 and comes back above quarter theory, I'm probably going to get into that, but that might happen. You know, that now I won't get into that. I'll wait. You know, even if I lose a few pips, because I would wait anyway till it's past that key level. Oh, so now it's saying it doesn't like the 62 at the moment. So that's why you have to be patient, isn't it? Okay, so let's finish by looking at EuroCAD. And I'll do in fact, sorry, I don't trade anymore live on a Friday because New York session is, I don't trade it. I've learned that it's not a good thing to do. So I'll just finish off I'm on the 15-minute by looking at EuroCAD, because this is one that we were looking at 30th. Let me find I had to reset my London, you can get this thing which shows you when sessions are open, helps you work out when it's best time to trade pairs. It's just called FX trading sessions. And if you do get the indicator, if you've got a paid version of TradingView, then the enable code is 29FORMAY, FORMAY. If you've only got the 3 indicators that are with your free version, please stick with your BYOB indicators. So you put your Heiken-Ashi candle on, put your SAR flip on, your Ninjacator with Bollinger Bands, and your stochastic. So the candles obviously isn't an indicator, that you can choose which one you want, but those are the 3 indicators you must have. So at 9, London Open, and the cursor's not playing ball. Page is unresponsive. That means my trading view's frozen. Right. Oh, that's come back. Right. Come on, just trying to move it down. I was going to make sure the settings on this were correct, because they're not correct. I can see, because green is Tokyo and we're in London, which is yellow, but I'm not going to reset it while we're on. All right, I just have to look at it like this. So normally I drop down to the 1 minute as well. So,
Sarah, I have to go, so can I just say thank you?
Oh,
And,
you're very welcome. Thanks for your help. Cheers. Have a great afternoon. Yeah, I'm off in a minute as well. Thanks, Tammin. So at Open of London, which was here. That's right. This is where we were looking at it for a buy. Pitchfork quarter theory above the 62. On the 1 minute, we would have drawn a trend line up, and then there's a nice little buy. That'll be about 20 pips. It's just hit it up there now. So that took 3 or 4 hours. But I didn't happen to get in that one, but it did do what I thought it would do on there. And it's just price will move between levels. So if you are looking at Euro CAD anymore, you've got CAD in session this afternoon, then you'd be looking at that with your indicator on. Look at the 5-minute one, see what your pip gap is between where you are with your 50 line, the little purple line on Kevin's indicator that you put on, and look at what your stochastic is saying at the bottom. Because if the stochastic is saying it's in the extreme above 80 and it is overbought, then that helps you make the decision that it's still got some room to go down, and it'll want to go to that orange point there, which is 1.4500. So there might be 5 pips there. That's ECAD 1.500, and if it breaks through there, but you can still see the 62 is well above the 15. But if it starts to come round and down past these 2 points, 1.5500, then you've got to sell, because it's done its move up and now it'll be working its way down. It is a downward scan. I don't know if there's any new scans on this. I haven't looked this morning, but that's the kind of way I'll be looking for that. So unless anyone's got any questions, I don't want to move this stupid French mouse. Well, it's not French, it's English expat mouse that I've brought over with me. Then, you know, we'll be hopping off shortly for Sharon. We'll just go back to GU, I think. And hopefully, I think what I'm going to do is close all the windows down and restart the computer this afternoon. I've just got one more call tonight. Whatever strategy you're trading, if you've got the time, I thoroughly recommend you come on channel 20 at 7 p.m. Oh no, don't do that, because that interfere with Les on a Thursday. But watch the recording. There's a great psychology call that I attend every week, which is very good. So now we can see it's just come under the 62 and under the pitchfork. So at the moment it's dropping. It's dropping at the moment. But I'm going to keep an eye on this one most definitely because of the sniper strategy on the watch lists, and I will be re-entering if it's going to do a swing round. So it we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens on that one. So I'm going to stop sharing now. And take that off. I'm just going to say thanks very much. Please message me or join my group, Teamwork Makes the Dream Work. I will be putting more things in the units on quarter. I've got to do quarter theory, and I'll do one on how to, before the weekend, on how to connect the dots, as I call it. So that is taking your scan, the reversal points that come up, this Harmonic Scanner, which is free with your package. I'm cheap with money, that's why I like it, and it's very 89% accurate. So how to copy and paste scans across to your trading view, and then I do all my analysis on trading view and what rules we follow on which scans to take. And the scanner itself does, if Vibrata isn't spitting out any trades, the scanner itself will give you entries, take profit 1, 2 and 3. Les does very good sessions where he shows you how to work down the levels. The difference with my strategy is that I save all the scans with the pitchforks. If you draw them accurately, I'll show you how to do that. They're valid forever, and it means I can take trades. I can take in one pair 13 trades, trading the levels up and down after it's crossed the median point on the pitchfork, which is the halfway point of the C to D leg. And on bigger scans, I'll even take a reversal. If it's a buy scan, a reversal between a pitchfork, because they can have such big sections, some of them like 60 pips or something. And I think we're coming up to 2 p.m. So I hope you've enjoyed the session. Sharon on next, and then Les at 7. So thanks ever so much for joining, everyone, and I'll see you all soon.
Thanks very much. Bye.
Yeah, bye.